All right, well, that's all the time we have for games from last week. So let's.
No, it's not, Wes. Wes, we have to talk about it. We
I
have to.
know, I know. All right, next is number two Georgia at number four Alabama. Bama winning this one 41-34. Jesse was the only one to pick Bama. She got the point here. So you mentioned Tale of Two Halves for the last game we talked about, and that was a theme in this one too. Georgia just looked dazed and confused as soon as the game got started in this one. Offense looked like they'd never seen a football before. The defense had zero answers for Jalen Milroe and what Bama was throwing at them offensively. The defense just lost the edges every single time. It looked like it might be 70-0 by the time this was all said and done. I mean, if you were watching the first quarter of this game, not only are you thinking as a Georgia fan, oh, we're going to lose, it's like, oh my gosh, we're going to get blown out by a ridiculous score. Um, in the end, it didn't really matter because Bama won by more than 2 points, but I still didn't really understand the safety call. Anyways, Beck couldn't really help that there was no receivers that ran that far. We see quarterbacks and receivers not on the same page all the time in plays that look just like that. There's no intentional grounding call. I digress. That one didn't matter. It was a curious call to me, though. Anyways, Georgia finally found the end zone in the second quarter, but it was 30-7 at halftime. In the second half, Georgia finally started to find some footing on offense and got some stops on defense. You could say that was due to Bama getting conservative with a big lead, perhaps. But either way, Georgia began to find momentum and outscored Bama 27-11 in the second half, even taking the lead briefly on a 67-yard reception by Dylan Bell. Uh, Bama immediately took the lead back on a 75-yard catch by Ryan Williams, who I don't know if you knew this, Matt, that he's 17
Oh, I
years
trust me,
old.
I am well aware of that fact because they've dropped that little nugget of information literally every 10 seconds into the broadcast. It was every other possession it felt like, or every other play they were saying something about the fact he was 17. It
And
was
that's kind of the running
nuts.
joke now. And I think even Bama
Yeah.
fans are using it as a joke because they understand how ridiculous. It's not ridiculous that we're praising the kid for being talented at 17. It's just the amount with which it's referenced is just funny.
It's as my dad would say, a lot of knob polishing.
Yeah,
And there was a lot going on there.
right.
Yeah.
There was still plenty of time on the clock, however, and Georgia marched back down the field with plenty of time and timeouts. But for some reason, with 43 seconds to go and two timeouts left, Georgia decided to go for the jugular and heaved it into the end zone. In my opinion, a very low percentage throw, and it was picked off in the end zone. So game over. Now I've had time to digest this, and I'm not really sure where you go from here. Like what happened, right? Like why did this even happen to begin with? Why did Georgia look simply awful overall? Apparently, some people have been placing the blame squarely on Carson Beck's shoulders. I get both sides of that. On one hand, Georgia probably doesn't make that near comeback without him, right? On the other hand, Georgia isn't in that hole if he doesn't have all those interceptions and the fumble. But for Georgia to be that unprepared, I got to place it on the coaches. And I'm not discrediting Alabama. Obviously, they're incredibly talented. Milroe is incredibly talented. He's got a great arm. Obviously, he's incredibly talented running the ball as well when he needs to. Kirby, in my opinion, is certainly to blame for not having the team ready. I mean, the first half was close to an all-time low for his tenure there, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. Obviously, I hope he stays there. Nobody's saying get rid of him. As long as I hope he stays as long as he wants to, because I still remember the Mark Richt era. But this was certainly a shortcoming in terms of coaching. I wasn't a fan of Mike Bobo before, and I still am not. Trust me, we'll look great most of the season, right? I
Oh,
think
Mike
our
Bobo. Oh,
I think
Mike Bobo.
I think our offense, who his son got to play center in this game, by the way, because we were so depleted in the offensive line. Anyways, I think our offense might flounder like this in big games until we get someone else at OC. Look, he's calling plays for incredibly talented players. I think good things are going to happen. The thing with Bobo is that in critical moments, and you saw this in this game tonight or this past weekend, when it comes down to the critical play calls, you just are left scratching your head. Why did we do that? What was that? We had plenty of time. We should have worked the ball down the field a little bit further with timeouts and then gone for the jugular with a higher percentage throw, run, whatever you want to dial up. But it was just awful to me in terms of play calling.